Members, good morning. It's the appointed time. We have a quorum. I call to order the meeting. First of all, I'd like to tell members the subcommittee has completed the discussion of a number of items according to our work plan. They cover initiatives to promote Web3 development, regulation of virtual asset trading platforms, and our item for discussion today that is nurturing Web3 and Fintech talents. Our next meeting will be held in May. We'll discuss the protection for investors and users of virtual assets. The Secretariat will inform members of the exact date later on. Any views? No? Agenda item number 1. Nurturing Web3 and Fintech talents. We have quite a number of officials today. I welcome Mr. Joseph Chan, Undersecretary for Financial Services and the Treasury, as well as other representatives from Subcommittee, the Investor and Financial Education Council, the Accounting and Financial Reporting Council, the Mandatory Provident Fund Schemes Authority, Insurance Authority, as well as the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. We have quite a number of officials today. Welcome. I'll give the floor to Mr. Joseph Chan to walk us through the paper. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Together with the Digital Policy Office, Investor and Financial Education Council, IFEC, Subcommittee, Accounting and Financial Reporting Council, AFRC, Mandatory Provident Fund Schemes Authority, MPFA, Insurance Authority, IA, and Hong Kong Monetary Authority, Hong Kong MA, to brief members on the measures to nurture Web3 and Fintech talents. As of last September, we have a total of 1,100 Fintech companies, a year-on-year increase of 15% that cover Web3 development enterprises, covering a wide scope of business. They include 8 digital banks, 4 virtual insurers, and 10 licensed VATP virtual asset trading platforms that provide a wide range of financial services. Blockchain, AI services are also provided. They bring a lot of opportunities. The Financial Secretary announced in the budget that AI is very important in relation to new quality productive forces. We need to seize upon opportunities to develop AI as an industry to help the traditional industries in upgrading and transformation. The generative AI usage rate stands at 30%. That is the highest among all markets and well above the global average of 26%. In order to advance Web3 development, we have adopted a multi-pronged approach in order to move forward and attract more talents. We have 2 leading digital technology flagships in Hong Kong. They are Subcommittee and Hong Kong Science Park. They are home to over 500 Web3 and Fintech companies, providing a lot of opportunities for local and overseas talents. In the papers, we have already briefed members on Web3 and Fintech talents, and I'd like to give members more information. In relation to Web3, the government has allocated $50 million to the Subcommittee to promote Web3 ecosystem development. There are a lot of Web3 companies within Subcommittee. 3 have become unicorns. We will adopt an industry-oriented approach to train talents. Different talent schemes have been launched by Subcommittee. For example, there are Subcommittee Web3 Internship Program 2024 as well as other programs. They encourage universities to engage in internship programs. There is also the Subcommittee University Partnership Program to encourage students to partake in entrepreneurship bootcamp in other areas. There are also training sessions, seminars, talks, as well as interactive career fairs. The purpose is to help job seekers to be matched with other positions. In 2024, the Digital Policy Office DPO organized over 70 training sessions and seminars. They are led by industry professionals to enhance government employees' knowledge of Web3 technologies, including the Internet of Things, blockchain, and big data. We announced the first talent list earlier on. It was announced in 2018 to attract fintech talents from around the world to Hong Kong. We have a number of schemes, say pilot scheme on training subsidy for fintech practitioners. For those who have attained professional qualifications, they receive subsidies from the administration. Over 500 practitioners have signed up for the relevant training courses. Apart from that, we also have the GBA Fintech two-way internship scheme for post-secondary students. Subsidies are provided to students to participate in short-term internship in fintech companies. The purpose is to enhance talent exchange and enlarge the fintech talent pool. A total of 150 training quotas are provided. So far, more than 80 students have participated in the internship scheme, and we will launch the next round in summer holidays this year. We also maintain liaison with the stakeholders in the industry. We provide the financial services sector with fintech talents. The IA and the MPFA or the Hong Kong MA have been launching different talent schemes to train university students. Full-time internship programs are provided to students. For example, the Industry Project Masters Network Scheme is provided by the Hong Kong MA to nurture professional fintech talents. They target master's degree students. The IFEC also works with the University of Science, Technology, and Singapore to organize a competition to educate young people on the importance of Web3 and Fintech in the financial services and investment landscape. The AFRC and the MPFA hold regular talks and seminars. The aim is to educate practitioners on the relevant areas. That is nurturing Web3 and Fintech talents. That concludes my introduction. My team and I are happy to take questions from members. I now open the floor for questions. 6 members have pressed the button to request to speak. Each round, 5 minutes. They are Mr. Ronak Chan, Mr. Benson Lok, Ms. Carmen Kan, Mr. Robert Lee, Mr. Yim Kong, and Mr. Lee Chen Kang. Mr. Ronak Chan, please. Thank you, Chairman. On the 20th of March, the International Financial Center Index Hong Kong ranks 3rd. But in relation to human capital, we rank 2nd, up by 1 rank. Fintech, we rank the 4th, up by 5 ranks. In order to maintain our competitive edge, we need to have a stable source of talents. Just now, the Undersecretary took us through a number of initiatives, and I'd like to ask some members in relation to the Singapore University Partnership Program. A total of 40 university students were invited to take part in training camps. After exchange, when they return to Hong Kong, how could they apply what they have learned into practice, how they can benefit even more people? The paper doesn't cover this area. Can you let us know more about it? In relation to the scheme, 127 talents were imported to Hong Kong, and we have 100 or so financial institutions, or 170 plus institutions. So comparing with the total number of imported fintech talents, the ratio is just a drop in the ocean. In relation to importing fintech talents, do you have any KPIs? Was there any bottleneck? So there were only 100 or so fintech professionals in the past 7 years. I'd like to know why the ratio is so low. In relation to the pilot scheme on training subsidy for fintech practitioners, 560 practitioners have received subsidies. Does the administration have any tally on the subsequent employment opportunities? If so, will you use such figures to promote the pilot scheme in order to attract more practitioners to take part in the schemes? The FinTech Career Accelerator Scheme provides a lot of positions. Have you taken stock of the experience of students? Do you keep any tally on the employment rate of the participants joining the financial services industry? Thank you. I'll take the second question first. In relation to the talent list, regarding attracting fintech talents from around the world to Hong Kong, talents can choose to enter Hong Kong through the talent list. However, Many fintech talents have received job offers from companies before they come to Hong Kong. They already have a contract as well as a work permit. Therefore, they don't need to rely on the talent list to come to Hong Kong for work, so they don't necessarily have to use the talent list avenue to come to Hong Kong. As we understand, the demand for fintech talents is huge. They are well sought after, so companies have already completed the procedure for obtaining visa for fintech talents. That's exactly why they don't necessarily need to come to Hong Kong through the talent list, hence a lower ratio. Regarding the third and the fourth questions, I will defer to the Hong Kong MA. They are responsible for the implementation of the scheme. Thank you. Thank you, Undersecretary. Thank you, member, for the questions as well. Regarding the Cyberport University Partnership Scheme, we work with all universities in Hong Kong, totaling 12. In the end, we chose 20 teams, covering 25 students. In Hong Kong, we conducted training for them. Afterwards, we took these students to Draper University in Silicon Valley for training. When they returned to Hong Kong, we want them to be engaged in the INT sector. There is an independent vetting committee. 10 teams have already joined the Creative Microfund of Cyberport. Subsidies are provided to these students. Hong Kong MA. Thank you. Ms. Carrie Chong, please. Regarding the pilot scheme on training subsidy for fintech practitioners, we do keep a tally of the figures. We can provide further information. Regarding the FCAS, that is the Fintech Career Accelerator Scheme, we conducted surveys after each round of the scheme. We asked students whether their interest in joining the financial services industry has been boosted. We also collected figures from banks as well as insurance companies. They provide opportunities to students as well. Thank you. Next member, Mr. Benson Lok. Thank you, Chairman. Generative AI rate in the financial services sector is the highest at 38% among all markets. It is well above the global average of 26%. Given such a high percentage, it does mean we have a huge demand for fintech talents. In the paper, I can see the Cyberport and the Hong Kong MA provide a lot of internship programs. The cream of the crop go to the US for training camps as well. 2023 manpower projections announced by the other bureau said that up to 2028, there will be a total of 1,500 and 4,500 manpower short. They are asset management experts and so on. Comparing with the figures in the paper, the manpower gap is just a drop in the ocean. I have two questions. We provide a lot of internship programs for students in educational institutions. We do need to provide more of such opportunities for students. Do we have any collaboration with educational institutions? Can we encourage more elite students to join the financial services industry or to enhance their interest in taking financial services courses? Can we increase the number of the quota for students on these programs? Regarding the talent list, As of 2025, the Immigration Department has approved a total of 126 applications of fintech professionals. The number is just a drop in the ocean comparing with the manpower gap I just now mentioned. So among the 126 applicants, how many of them came from the mainland and how many of them came from overseas places? We are popular among mainland professionals, so I'd like to have the breakdown of figures. In relation to publicity of recruiting mainland practitioners, what is the progress? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. Well, it is correct in terms of fintech talents. We are developing very fast in Hong Kong. In my introduction, I said the same. And as of September, there are over 1,100 fintech companies in Hong Kong, and in a short period of time, it has risen a lot. So we have a number of policies, for example, for local talents nurturing in the Hong Kong universities. There are fintech courses offered to students, and we're working with them to promote these courses. And also, as mentioned just now, they also need internship and practical experience, and that's why we have this GBA internship scheme. Apart from the students, another area that we've been working on would be the incumbent workers, and therefore we have the pilot scheme on training subsidy for fintech practitioners so as to raise their capabilities and to help them. Thirdly, as mentioned earlier, and as mentioned in your question, how do we attract more overseas talents? Well, through the talent list to facilitate their immigration, it is 126 applicants there. But as far as we know, we do have a lot of fintech talents who already have contract for employment on hand, so they do not have to come through the talent list in coming to Hong Kong to work, and they've been very successful in this. So the number of fintech talents would be far higher than the one registered under talent list. And in a number of areas, for example, our policy bureaus and also our monitoring efforts, we have been working with the industry in promoting at international conferences, etc. We have been promoting this message. And we see that the ecosystem is well received globally. The FinTech Week, for example, we had over 10,000 participants, and also before that there was another event on Web3, and they had chosen Hong Kong to be their venue, and that has attracted over 1,000 participants. And then there was another large-scale Web3 activity held in Hong Kong very recently, and over 1,000 participants have come to Hong Kong. And in April, there will be 10,000 people, as far as we know, attending another Web3 event in Hong Kong. So whether in nurturing people locally, attracting overseas and talents, and working with the students, we have this multi-pronged approach. Now, for the students, for university students who are bent on going into fintech, that's great. But if we can perhaps go to secondary schools, for the elite students in the DSE, they would want to go into the profession such as the traditional medical doctor and lawyers professions. If we can engage them early to attract the elite students to enter the profession, that would be good. Yes, we see 126 applicants for fintech professionals going through the talent list. Are there other figures and information you can share with us? Well, Chair, we can definitely talk to the Policy Bureau to find out a more comprehensive picture. Thank you. All right. Carmen Can next. Thank you, Chair. We have heard the introduction. The talent list is but one channel to bring in more fintech talents. Well, I'm in the financial field. I totally understand that a lot of employers, and not only banks, actually insurance, AFRC, they're all here. MPF, I'm sure. Everyone. The SFC would all need fintech talents. Perhaps I can provide a small recommendation, and that is, let's do a survey through the different regulators to issue these surveys, to issue to the relevant institutions to know, apart from the talent list, what exactly is a number of fintech talents that they need and that they have employed. So, and where do these talents come from, for instance? So from our employers' point of view, what are the main areas of lack? Is it blockchain? Is it virtual assets? We have to understand where we need to seek urgently for talents. Let's do this survey or study. First point, I don't know how the administration sees that. Secondly, concerning the policy address, there is the FSTB mentioned, and that is in this high-level angle, and I'm very happy that we are looking at fintech today, but I'm just wondering whether we have any participation at this higher level, because from the electoral members' point of view, we understand that the education department and also the labor department and also the innovation technology office, they are involved, but what other officers or bureaus are involved? Thirdly, for the FinTech Week every year, it is a highly popular event and it's been doing very well. And in the 2 sessions report, when talking about Hong Kong, we say we are deepening international cooperation. So for the FinTech Week, with the survey that we have done, perhaps we can be even more targeted in our FinTech Week offerings. Thank you very much, Chair, for the questions. As mentioned, Ms. Carmen Kan understands as well, there are a lot of different channels whereby fintech talents can come into Hong Kong. Fintech is actually pretty wide. There are fintech companies and there are traditional financial companies which have a fintech arm, and they also bring in fintech talents as well. And there are startups as well whereby they also engage in fintech, etc. So I thank the members' suggestions, and we will be going back together with the public organizations and departments. We will discuss in a more comprehensive way the fintech talents need, for instance, in a more comprehensive manner. Now, concerning the Committee on Education and Technology, where there are cross-departmental discussions, we will involve all departments relevant in the discussion. So please be assured. And also we have already formed a very good brand name for our FinTech Week, and we attract a lot of participants for the coming FinTech Week in terms of agenda and in terms of the items offered. We will be looking into this, and definitely we would want that to be an attraction point for FinTech talents. We will be working on that. That's right. Since the talents are already here in Hong Kong, there will be matching sessions. But let it not be just matching of business. Let's match the talents as well. Employer, employee, if we can, apart from closing deals, let's also make it into a recruitment and employment session. Next, Mr. Robert Lee. For Web3 and Fintech talents, I think we need a lot of cooperation within the industry so that everybody will know that we have a very good operating environment in Hong Kong. Now, recently, there have been some positive reports coming out from the SFC, for instance, the new platform for operators of virtual assets, and also in the budget speech, there is a new policies mentioned as well. We're talking about talents and attracting talents today, but I want to know about the policy declaration. When is it coming out, the second version? And also, there was a route map from the SFC about, and it's called Aspire, ASPIRE. And it mentions that those who are licensed already, how they can provide more products, and at the same time to embrace a more open-minded approach, because there are two sides to any transaction. It is not because that these are derivative products, they are high risk, but they are also for hedging purposes. But on the other hand, if we do not have a complete range of products for hedging, then the practitioners, the companies will have to go overseas to do so, to hedge. So and also we have certain limitations on professional investors and also people who have a lot of resources or funds. Doesn't mean that they are professional investors. But on the other hand, those with very little funds, but they're engaging in these investing activities every day, doesn't mean that they're not professional and experienced investors. So the definition of professional investors, can you change that following the logic mentioned just now to make it more flexible? Right. The policy declaration and the definition of professional investors. Two questions. Right. For the policy declaration in the first round, the response from the industry had been very positive, and we have been putting into place the work that had been mentioned in the declaration. And within this year, we will have the second declaration promulgated. We are now in the process of drafting, and we are listening to the regulators as well as the professionals in the market. For Web3 ecology in Hong Kong, I would say it has developed a lot more than before. And you can see from our different activities, etc., there is a worldwide consensus that Web3 is a very important, Web3 ecology is finds Hong Kong a very important part of it. So we will be talking about Web3 ecology in the declaration. And also with the promulgation of the SFC for Web3 operators, on the one hand, we have to balance development and regulation, but at the same time, we have observed and we have heard from you all concerning the diversification of products. For example, how we can also extend our services. And as mentioned, how we can facilitate sales so that sales can be smoother. We are looking into all these areas. Give us a little bit of time to work with the regulators where we can have details for prorogation or sharing. We will do so. So these are the areas where we're working on. A third area third point is on the licensed exchanges. Apart from licensed exchanges, this year we will be conducting consultation on OTC service providers for virtual assets. For these virtual assets, the custodians, services, we will also be looking into regulation of these so that the market will be more recognized and there will be more protection for investors. And at the same time, the market wants regulation because they think that the investors and their clients will be more confident with regulation. So there will be detailed consultation later in the year for this. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Yim Kong.
Thank you, Chairman. I have two questions and one suggestion. The INT fund is about $30 billion, but 70% is about R&D. In relation to blockchain AI, they account for less than 15%, and the application procedures are quite cumbersome. It's difficult to benefit SME in this regard. Can the administration provide more support to make the policies or initiatives more targeted? Financial services in enterprises are mainly SMEs, say Levy Bank and other examples. How can systematic training for staffers be provided? The average staff scale is 45 staffers, and this is well below the standard of 200. It's very important to enhance the clustering effect for insurers. So, what kind of measures does the administration have to attract such enterprises or practitioners to come to Hong Kong? Does the administration have any KPIs? Hong Kong and UST have programs in relation to financial courses, but they are about financial theories. Decentralization is one of the emerging areas. In 2023, according to a survey, it showed only 35% of the programs in Hong Kong have introduced real-life cases. So we need to draw reference from Singapore. We also need to team up with Morgan Stanley to provide more programs having regard to their experience in the market situation. Thank you. Undersecretary, first of all, about the INT fund, I will invite the DPO to take this question. DPO, thank you. In relation to the INT fund, yes, your mic is on. We will keep reviewing the resources required. If need be, we will follow up on the matter accordingly. Regarding AI blockchain, does the administration undertake any assessment in relation to AI and blockchain? Of course, as far as hardware and computing power are concerned, we have been putting in resources. We have launched AI subsidy schemes, for instance. In relation to development along this line, it's been faring quite well. The AI subsidy scheme was launched last October. So far, over a dozen or so applications have been received. They come from R&D organizations as well as universities. As of last December, we approved 9 of them. In relation to AI and computing power, Hong Kong has been seeing good development. Up till February, we have approved 9 applications, and we are still receiving such applications. I'll take the second question. Thank you. Regarding fintech companies, there are several types. One, as members said, they are startups, hence a lower scale. Their target customers are traditional financial enterprises, say financial technologies. They provide services to banks. There are also insurtech projects. They work with insurance companies. The other type, as members said, is larger scale leading enterprises or multinational enterprises. Some of these enterprises have established a foothold in Hong Kong. Some are leading tech enterprises. So how can we enlarge the pool of the local fintech companies? There's a company that is a unicorn in Hong Kong. We will keep providing support to this startup. Subport Invest Hong Kong, Hong Kong Science Park, will work with them to attract more global enterprises to come to Hong Kong. We will also be working with Oasis. Oasis has successfully introduced fintech companies to Hong Kong, and we will be enhancing work on this front regarding training, helping local fintech enterprises in Hong Kong. I'd like to emphasize that we have been rolling out schemes and providing facilitation measures. Global customers will also be entertained. We don't have the Education Bureau with us, but we will relay the concerns of member to the Education Bureau. They attach a lot of importance to fintech education programs in Hong Kong. They understand the importance of putting what students have learned into practice. So the Education Bureau or this education sector work with the commercial sector. Will follow up on the matter with the Education Bureau. Thank you. Yes, indeed, it is very important to enhance interfacing with the Education Bureau. Next member, Mr. Lee Chen-kang, please. Thank you, Chairman. Now we're talking about nurturing Web3 and Fintech talents. It is high time we did so. What kind of talents do we need? We need fintech talents, as mentioned in the paper, the banking sector, security sector, as well as the insurance sector. We have digital banks alongside other digital enterprises. They are finding it difficult with operation. Their market scale is not that mature. So after we have trained talents, a large number of talents are coming to Hong Kong. So do we actually have the avenue for these talents to realize their potential? Digitalization, tokenization, blockchain, how can we enhance the knowledge of members of the public? How can we enhance publicity measures? We need to educate the public since a young age. Tokenization, blockchain, when will you cover these areas of knowledge into the school curricula in primary schools? These are the concepts of the latest era. We need to include these areas into the school curricula of secondary schools rather. There are legal matters involved as well. So on VATPs, how will you work with university to take this forward? Thank you, member, for your question. Indeed, the application scenarios of fintech is indeed very wide. As we know, Hong Kong is a leading international financial center. Securities issuance in Asia, cross-boundary asset management center, we rank first in Asia. Risk management, insurance, bond issuance, tokenized bonds, the demand for fintech talents is indeed considerable. Wealth tech, for example, also has a huge demand for talents in the fintech area. What about compliance? Compliance technology is in huge demand as well. So indeed, fintech talents cover a wide range of areas. The administration has been working with different regulators, including Invest Hong Kong. They have a specific task force that is responsible for publicity. Fintech talents will be provided with matching services in this regard. In relation to public education, it matters at the same time, as member mentioned. Through the IFEC, we have been educating the public and students on the understanding of fintech technologies. I'll give the floor to the IFEC to tell us more about the publicity about fintech. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Member. The IFEC puts a lot of resources in education. Primary school students, secondary school students, university students. We educate them on fintech knowledge. There are also parenting portals as well as other measures which provide a wide range of edutainment resources. And to boost their interest in fintech, we'll continue to develop our initiatives on this front. Thank you. Mr. Lee, I'd like to provide some suggestions. Hong Kong is a place where fintech talents meet. We need to work with the mainland. We need to provide professional certification systems. There is the GBA FinTech two-way internship scheme for post-secondary students. We need to leverage on the GBA, which is indeed a massive market. We need to grow large the pie, for example, for digital banks, so that people will have an avenue to look for employment and for upward mobility. This is very important. Thank you. In relation to promoting fintech and attracting fintech talents, the GBA plays a pivotal role. Our internship scheme covers this element, and I'm not going to go into details. We work with the Secretariat of a council as well as another organization. We have signed a strategic agreement. We will work on a fintech professional qualifications framework, and there will be mutual recognition of qualifications. Professionals will receive dual qualifications, and this measure is aimed at enhancing the mutual recognition between Hong Kong and the mainland. We want to cover a wider range of professional qualifications. This will promote the manpower flow between Hong Kong and the GBA. We have already started such an initiative and we will continue to enhance it. Thank you. Next member, Mr. Holden Chow. Thank you, Chairman. I have questions on two fronts. In paragraph 6 of the paper, Cyberport has plans to team up with universities in Silicon Valley to train 30 university students rather. We've put in a lot of resources to fintech. This is indeed good. But apart from that, will we consider other places in Europe? Recently, I had a visit to France. When it comes to AI and blockchain technologies, France puts in a lot of resources indeed. In June, there will be a ViberTech large-scale tech exhibition. Some participants in Hong Kong will go to France. So I'd like to know, in addition to Silicon Valley, we may consider working with France as well. Among the 126 applicants in relation to fintech professionals, I'd like to supplement that in the 2 sessions, a lot of mainland professionals come to Hong Kong as talents when they come to Hong Kong for work, and when they want to settle in, they need to buy a home. Can there be relaxed foreign asset requirements? Fintech talents are in huge demand. Is it possible to liaise with talents? Is it possible to take this forward in order to meet their demands for home ownership? And we can also have talents, and then we can promote the development of fintech. Thank you.
多謝議員嘅提問。
Thank you for the questions. Thank you, Chair. Well, whether it is for fintech or other professional sectors, when the talents come to Hong Kong, we try to help them to settle down and to manage their funds well, including buying their own home if they wish so that they can work well in Hong Kong and settle down well in Hong Kong. So as mentioned just now, there will be financial services offered to them as well. So there are other stakeholders involved. We will be communicating together with them to satisfy the needs. So for Cyberport, perhaps Eric of Cyberport can answer that question. Thank you. Thank you for the questions. For the Cyberport Incubation Program, in particular, the program together with the university, it's been in progress for 10 years, and we select the best universities around the world to work with. We have brought students to Stanford University and to different universities in Europe, USA in Spain, and Cambridge in the UK. And every year we would have invitations approaching the most suitable and the best universities, and to work together on the selected topics. And we look forward to, apart from the US and Europe, to engage elitist universities within the region and also mainland China. Thank you. Next, Edmund Wong, please. Thank you, Chair. I'm looking at paragraph 17 of the paper. It talks about the accounting industry. Accounting is a very important stakeholder group or gatekeeper for the financial industry. So the work is very important here, and I thank the FSBV in including accountants into the talent list. And indeed, we have accountants which are suitable for Web3 work. Now, looking at paragraph 17, it says the Accounting and Financial Reporting Council is closely monitoring market trends and regularly meet the industry organizations. So I see that in Singapore, a few years ago, there were different departments, including the Accounting Development Council, in promoting the accounting industry digital plan. So these are this plan is for supporting SMEs in converting to digital. And some 70% of the accounting firms are already, and 100 of them are using digital methods already. So in Web3, I don't know whether the government will be providing a more leading position. And in the accounting society for the past 12 years, we have been doing a symposium on Web3 AI, basically to help the industry in speeding up their procedures, but there are problems because of lack of manpower for some of the developments that are in need. They cannot even do those, let alone the AI, IT area. So, and we are losing talents as well. So for the medium-sized accounting firms, how can they employ more technology in the future? So, and I would want to know also how the commercial side accounting services can also go into this Web3 era. Thank you. Well, it is correct. For Web3 technology in the industry, for certain accounting firms, because of their operation, they already have Web3 needs. So they already have some blueprints for nurturing Web3 talents. We are proactively talking to them to see in their talents training, what are their progresses and situation. Now, for certain areas where there is not a lot of Web3 operation in their Web3 elements in their operation, we are also working with them, telling them about the possibilities of Web3 and the future development in Hong Kong. We are also paying attention to the dynamics in the market where there are training needs. We will be providing support. Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the question. Just now, Mr. Wong had talked about AI applicability in the accounting sector. Actually, we have been looking at AI in the application and in platform. For example, for the HAUST, there is an AI platform which had been launched. On this platform, we'll be looking into usage scenarios, and together with accounting practitioners, we'll be organizing seminars to promote knowledge of AI this AI platform. And in particular, we will be targeting small to medium-sized accounting firms. Chair, I understand that this can be difficult because accounting work is very busy, and we have the tax returns and also the year-end dates, etc., that we have to abide by. And for example, the June 30th and also listed companies' quarterly returns and quarterly announcements, lots of period ends, very busy indeed. So AFRC or the government, if you can early on make the arrangements, it would be appreciated. With my years serving the industry, all these years, I see that digitalization is a bottleneck, and we want digitalization, AI, to be further developed in the sector, within the profession. Thank you very much. All right. Web 3.0, there are lots of business opportunities, and the different commercial sectors and professions will have to follow up closely. Next, Mr. Tan Yue-heng. Thank you, Chair. I think this is a very important topic, nurturing Web3 and Fintech talents. I think technology innovation, it goes hand in hand with industrial development and the development of the economy. The SAR government had been promoting fintech development, virtual assets, Web3. These are the more typical new financial service developments. For virtual asset, there are certain restrictions for various reasons in the mainland, and Hong Kong is a little bit more forward. So in developing virtual assets in the new technology for finance, this is important for the country as well. Bitcoin development, for example, in the world, in what exactly is its position in the financial system worldwide? We're still looking at that. So if we in Hong Kong can make early arrangements and planning, then this might be good for the country in its future development in these areas. So it is not only consolidating Hong Kong's position as an IFC, but also in the future, it would also be contributing meaningfully to the development of the financial market in the country. So this is highly related. Finance in its new developments may not be just a conversion from traditional financial practice. There will have to be new knowledge and new practice modes in order to welcome this new era of fintech operations. I have two questions to ask. Firstly, I'm looking at the Cyberport there is this academy. Just in a few years, there had been over 20 seminars and training sessions with 5,300 participants each time, with over 200 to 300 participants. This is a very wide audience indeed. This kind of experience of training, can they perhaps extend this? The seminars, the academy, increase participation and influence. What are some of the measures that can achieve that end? A second question concerning the future for commodities trading, for virtual assets, for digital and tokenized currencies, etc. These will provide new impetus for financial industry development in the future. Now, if that is the case, then Web3 is the engine behind all these new developments. So for the nurturing of talents in this area is important. My question is, has the government considered providing a more detailed, specific, comprehensive planning for nurturing financial technology talents so as to meet the needs of Hong Kong as an IFC, International Financial Center? Right. Cyberport colleague will answer the first question concerning the Web3 Academy. Yes, thank you very much for the question. Thank you. For the Web3 Academy at Cyberport, the main rationale for its foundation is to promote Web3 development and to nurture talents. In the past period of time, targeting the new startups and young people, we have been providing this service and work. But for Web3 Academy, it is actually situated within the Cyberport Academy itself. So we have plans to make Cyberport Academy a training institute to provide training to the profession and industry. So we thank the member for the question or the suggestion. We will continue to study this. Well, thank you very much for the question. It is correct on traditional finance, new fintech and green finance are important. For fintech, it would actually disrupt a lot of existing products and services and practices. So we need to develop this in order to stay competitive, even in traditional finance. And also green finance is needed as well. We need to do that well to have growth. If not, we will even jeopardize our leading position in finance. So some background for green finance. In the past few years, we are the biggest issuing venue for green and sustainable bonds. The SAR government is the first government to have issued a green tokenized bond in the world. So nurturing talents in the midst is very important in 3 dimensions. Firstly, to train our students, local students well. In the universities, for the universities in Hong Kong, whether fintech or green finance, the courses are being extended, getting more numerous. A second dimension is in helping our practitioners in the financial sector to raise their capabilities and knowledge for green finance and fintech. We have different programs to achieve that end. Third dimension, how do we attract overseas talents? We've talked about the talent list. In ESG talents, for example, it is also in the talent list that's included. And in the future, in these 3 dimensions, we'll continue to work on it. So for local students, it would include courses as well as practicum for existing practitioners to raise their capability and knowledge. Thirdly, to attract overseas talents, and this would include overseas as well as mainland China talents. So the overall strategy is not just about one one department or one bureau. It is comprehensive. For example, in green tech or fintech, why do we have this array of officers here? It is because in different areas, accounting, regulators, etc., we work together. There is one entity, which is Invest Hong Kong, which is not here today. There is a dedicated team for fintech, so we work together with them as well. So I assure members in saying that we very much understand the importance of talents for fintech and green tech. Secondly, our thinking is exactly along those three dimensions that I've talked about, and we work comprehensively with the regulators, Cyberport, and the relevant entities. Thank you.
Anything else? No, thank you. Next member, Ms. Elizabeth Cott. Thank you, Chairman. I'm glad to see the rapid development of Web3 and Fintech talents in Hong Kong. Education, technology, and talents, we need to promote the coordinated development as mentioned by the country, not least the development of the 8 centers in Hong Kong. We do need to attract and train talents. We need to troll for talents. This is very important. Web3 development, AI, low altitude economy, all these are strategic emerging industries. We need to leverage on the opportunities to redevelop these industries. When it comes to fintech, we talk about fintech talent training, but be it Web3 or fintech, these talents not just serve in the financial services industry, rather they promote the overall development of Hong Kong. So we shouldn't focus on the talents just in the financial services industry. These talents don't just work in this sector in particular. Logistics, trade, financial industries, these are the main industries. Blockchain technology, real-world asset tokenization, Web3 technology, AI. These can further cement our competitive edge as the 3 main centers. The shipping industry is in the face of transformation. We need to make good use of Web3 and fintech to help the industry to transform. During the course of transformation, there will be a lot of challenges. We don't have a lot of talents that are well versed in shipping as well as other industries. Like the security sector, we are facing this challenge. So when it comes to training Web3 and fintech talents, we need to train talents that can contribute to the overall development of the country. We need to have a more in-depth discussion. So I believe the administration needs to think about how to develop talent training plan for different industries. Regarding our 8 main centers in Hong Kong, we need to give full play to the digital transformation of the industry. We need to make good use of the talents. These talents need to be able to use technologies to help with the further development of the industry. Therefore, we need to enhance the width and depth of the development plan as well as the talent training plan. Thank you. I'll respond to the question on fintech afterwards. I'll give the floor to the DPO for her to share with you the overall digitalization progress and how to empower industries with technology. Then I will give the floor to other bodies to give member an account of how fintech is used to serve the public. Overall, I agree with member that financial services boost the development of the physical economy. So when it comes to fintech, say RWA, real world asset, we need to make good use of the latest technology to facilitate cash flow. We also need to help different enterprises to develop. The application of blockchain covers a wide area. 6 to 7 years ago, we didn't have blockchain yet. Well, I mean, we did use blockchain technology to help with financing, as well as vehicle insurance. We already saw such developments, so the application scope is very wide. It was already very wide 6 to 7 years ago. RWA talents are one type of fintech talents. We also have other types of talents under the broad umbrella of fintech, say cybersecurity talents. There's a wide array of fintech talents. So when it comes to different professional streams, we work with public organizations and universities to train different talents. I'll give the floor to the DPO. My colleague will share with you how the technology is used to boost the overall development of the city. Other bodies will also answer members' question about how to help members of the public with different fintech. Thank you. As I said, technological innovation is very important. It's not limited to one single industry. A few years ago, the DPO already started providing programs for secondary and primary schools. We have STEAM education, STEM education, AI, INT. We aim to boost students' interest in these areas. We need to do so since students are young. This will benefit different industries. It has been implemented for 5 years. There are subsidy schemes for primary and secondary schools. Students will be more interested in INT. When it comes to the industry, there are different schemes, say on AI. We have an AI subsidy scheme. In addition to computing power, the AI ecosystem also receives subsidies to facilitate its development. The purpose is to train more AI talents. We also want the industry to do more, to go further. AI is a fundamental technology. So for different industries, say the 8 main centers, all industries will also stand to benefit. Thank you. All right, the Insurance Authority. Thank you, member, for your question. When it comes to fintech, our principle is, as Ms. Kwok said, we need innovative elements in different products. We also need to enrich customer experience. We have the backstage and the front stage in the in the insurance sector rather. Fintech is used and we go electronic. We don't need paperwork as much as we did in the past. We go electronic. With fintech development, we use fintech with to help customer claims. Then we don't need to use as many paper documents as we did in the past. This will work in the coverage or claims processing. We can work with different stakeholders to enhance the diversity of different insurance products. Undersecretary, anything else to add? I'll give the floor to the MPFA. Thank you. The MPFA is encouraging the use of fintech for trustees. We can, users can make good use of the eMPF platform. It was put into service last June. A total of 6 MPF schemes are in operation, and we will complete the procedure gradually. MPF members or custodians can choose different MPF schemes. There are investment bots to help custodians or members of the scheme to choose different MPF schemes or products. Advice can be provided to custodians or members on mobile phones. We'll continue to work on public education, and we will also enhance the public's knowledge on AI, blockchain, and so on. And we will extend it to different MPF products in the future. Thank you. Ms. Kwok, am I coming through? Thank you. I support training fintech talents since a young age. So we've been asking for the mandatory course on AI for almost a decade. Apart from the organization mentioned by the Undersecretary, the 8 main centers cover shipping, trade, and so on. We need to have specialized proposal to train talents. RWA, AI, Web3, blockchain, these are important areas. Apart from the bodies that have spoken just now, we need to have task forces to help these specific industries to make good use of fintech to help with their transformation and upgrading processes. Thank you. As I mentioned, we will be liaising with different policy bureaus and the DPO to take forward these initiatives. Thank you. All members have already spoken in the first round. Mr. Lee pressed the button to request to speak in the second round. After Mr. Lee speaks, I will speak. Thank you. Mr. Lee. Thank you, Chairman. We may be in the early stage of developing AI talents, but then different policy bureaus have done a lot in this area. Fintech is a new area. So how can we adopt a higher level thinking? So talents will have 2 skill sets that are transferable. This is very important. We have representatives from a lot of different departments. Is there any priority among these departments? Regarding legal talents in relation to fintech, there are a lot of sandbox projects. There are also initiatives to prevent scams and protect investors in relation to financial advisors or licenses for financial advisors. In Zhuhai, Shenzhen, the licenses are applicable in these areas. So will we make good use of our position to work on a model with the GBA so we can work on blockchain, tokenization, litigations? So we can get a slice of the action when it comes to these areas. Thank you.
In 2 areas. It relates to a lot of different types of talents, securities firms and other fintech related organizations or institutions. They will all have their different needs. But on the other hand, talents nurturing can be more generic or comprehensive. for example, at the university level. But when it comes to very specific applications, then the relevant organizations and regulators will have to get involved. For example, for insurance-related fintech or banking-related fintech or payment-related fintech, they're all different in their technology. So it's very difficult for us to prioritize as such. But in the different realms, the relevant regulators will have to take up the training roles in their respective fields. Now, and another point concerning compliance and regulation, that's very important for the regulators. According to their terms of reference, they will be telling the practitioners and the industry about the latest developments. For example, another member had talked about virtual assets trading. The SFC had recently provided information concerning new development in this area. And as well, the Hong Kong MA, the Insurance Authority, will do the same in their own areas. And they will also talk about the latest regulatory requirement. The other point was on GBA, which is also very important for fintech products and services and solutions. In their development, we wanted to be in lockstep for Hong Kong and the mainland cities and Macau, for those to be used in lockstep. That's why we have some sandbox testing, so to facilitate services and products can be tested simultaneously in Hong Kong and in other areas so as to speed up the development phase. So the mainland regulators and our Hong Kong regulators are working together to enhance the environment so that these fintech products and services can come to the market earlier and at lower cost, and also for everyone to understand what exactly the operations are. Chair, we thank the administration for the answer, but for Hong Kong's development, there are three dimensions: Hong Kong local, second Hong Kong to mainland, thirdly Hong Kong to overseas, and talents go fluid, they go around. And in using fintech, how can we avoid controversies? Let's say the financial advisor is in Japan, for example, or it's an AI, a bot, for example. How can there be resolution of controversies or disputes? I think that is important too. And this should be pervasive along the entire value chain. So for talents nurturing and also these legal aspects, they are related and important too. Right, we have Mr. Lam Sen Kang next. Well, I am very thankful to Mr. Lee Chen Kang in speaking twice just now. He's spoken on behalf of the legal profession, and I think for Starry Lee, she once said that the legal profession is developing very well in Qianhai, and that is because of the many years of efforts of the Hong Kong Law Society. And, well, on the other hand, I myself, 2 years ago, in amending the regulations for regulating the legal profession, it had already said that there will be further opportunities open to the accounting sector in Qianhai. And I am envious of that development. And for ESG, some time ago, we have already, from the legal field, said, please provide courses and training and information for the legal field for ESG. But there was none such. But I noticed that there were such offerings for the accounting field, for the financial field, etc. So what I'm saying here is it is not just about regulatory compliance in providing contribution to Hong Kong. Rather, the legal profession can can assist in new products innovations. However, there's not been sufficient training. The legal profession is in a kind of a crisis situation, but that opens up a lot of new opportunities as well. That is a lot of young lawyers. They are working in the international law firms, and that's excellent in terms of CV. But after 2 years of traineeship, they have been fired because of economic pressures and worldwide situation. But I mean, Hong Kong should provide opportunities for these young lawyers so that they can develop in other areas. These are talents that can learn fast and they can contribute in other areas. Well, thank you, Chair, for providing me this opportunity to speak. Yes. Who else? Yes. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you, Chair. For ESG, green finance and fintech are all very important. In the past few years, I myself have participated in a number of events, Legal Week and also Law Society events to talk about fintech and green tech developments so that the lawyers can understand the developments in these areas. As for projects or schemes for training in these areas, I will be talking with the relevant departments to look into them. Yes, second round. Edmund Wong. Yes, just now Mr. Lam, my colleague, had talked about being envious of the accountant sector. Well, I'm envious of the developments too in other areas. The FSCB had been nurturing ESG talents. Now, recently in my policy studies and research, I see that there is a pilot green and sustainable fund and supporting scheme provided to the full-time students and relevant students in master programs and in the relevant disciplines. So this is a subsidy provided to them for ESG studies. And business administration, finance, environment, science, technology, and public policy have been named as related sectors, but there is no law or legal profession mentioned. And in particular, we're talking about S1 and S2 for ESG, for listed companies, and compliance officers as well as legal talents need this kind of training. The accounting firms are definitely pivoting as well. So this is my own opinion. I think the legal profession should be included. And also in this meeting, I see from the lecture papers, it talks about the 2022-23 budget policy concerning the talents nurturing scheme. I see that there were only 2 cohorts. This is the fintech training for financial practitioners. And I just want to follow up on that. In the future, will there be a continuation of this training program? Because fintech is very important. If we stop at the second cohort, that would be a shame. So I just want to know whether this will be continued. Right. So an opinion and whether the training program will continue. Right. It is correct that there were financial practitioners training scheme, and there were 2 cohorts and a few thousand people benefited. The Cyberport operated that. And now we have a fintech a pilot scheme for on training subsidy for fintech practitioners. This is launched in 2022. The name has changed, but the content may overlap. And as mentioned, so far, more than 560 practitioners have enrolled in the relevant training courses and will continue to operate this. For the Cyberport colleagues who have worked on the training program, we will be looking at the efficacy. We have different schemes and different projects, and in the future we'll be looking at what the market needs, and we will be providing those as the needs may be. Lastly, myself, the topic here today is nurturing Web3 and Fintech talents. In the past years, Web3 have been developing very well in Hong Kong. There have been good news coming out as well. The top talents are coming to Hong Kong as we speak, and this is very encouraging. And it is extremely encouraging for the industry, and it will further attract more talents to Hong Kong. And the country also has this mega direction of developing fintech, and Hong Kong is, of course, doing that as well. Now, I have 3 points to make. One on Cyberport. 2 years ago, there was 50 million meted out by the FS to build an ecosystem. Perhaps that had been more or less used up. And would that hinder nurturing of talents? Are there other resources that can be allocated to the effort to provide future momentum, to grow our ecosystem, and to contribute to the growth of Hong Kong? Second question, talents, apart from nurturing, they also need licensing or qualifications. So for fintech, in the qualification ladder or schemes, I don't see much coming out from there. Fintech is actually very wide. It's not just about marketing or coding, etc. But whatever area you're in, you may be developing in this technology area. So in terms of the qualification, recognition, perhaps we can work on that so that we can attract more people to Hong Kong. The qualification, recognition, and accreditation is in existence for other professions, but it seems like not yet for fintech. Third question is on bringing in talents to Hong Kong and working with the universities. It's not just the 100 top universities which provide this kind of training opportunity for fintech talents, but rather some of the top fintech talents are coming from smaller universities, we see. So how can we attract these people to Hong Kong? And I know that a lot of these fintech talents would want to come to Hong Kong, but in our talent scheme, it seems that we're only looking at the top 100 universities or brand names. So how can we facilitate these other fintech talents to come to Hong Kong? So these may be opinions. Maybe you do not have responses for each of them. Well, Chair, first of all, concerning Web3 promotion funding, Cyberport will answer that question, and I'll come back to answer the second and third one. Thank you, Chair, for the question. The $50 million allocated to Cyberport, we have used up about 78% or 80% of it. And we're very happy to report that, and you can see in our report for all the KPIs, we have successfully exceeded them. And of course, we continue to hope that the government will provide further resources to us to provide development for the Web3 ecosystem. And Cyberport, we will use our internal resources such as our AI base and also fintech capabilities, including our training schemes and other efforts in building up the fintech ecosystem. We with these efforts, and we would want to further contribute to blockchain and Web3 and Fintech development. For the startup companies that we have nurtured, over 190 of them so far are focused on blockchain, and they are in e-wallet, decentralization, and also wealth management, etc. And for ecosystem development, as mentioned, we have the Web3 Academy in 2023, working with different universities and the industry and leading companies around the world. We have conducted online and offline training sessions and talks, and there have been over 5,000 participants in these events, and will continue with such efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Undersecretary. Regarding qualifications and certification, fintech programs are offered in local universities. In relation to professional qualifications, we have recognition for fintech talents under the qualifications framework in Hong Kong. Will we further expand the framework? We'll look into it. Regarding bringing in more talents, there are two main types of talents. Some fintech talents may not have secured employment in Hong Kong, but they do want to come to Hong Kong. They can come to Hong Kong through the talent list. As long as an applicant has a bachelor degree in a relevant degree or in a relevant area, or when one has relevant experience, they may make an application. For local fintech enterprises, they find it difficult to look for talents. So how can we provide matching services? We'll continue to enhance our work. There is a special task force under Invest Hong Kong. They will be responsible for this area, and they will also be promoting the opportunities in relation to fintech in Hong Kong. Thank you. All members have spoken. Agenda item number 2. Any other business? There being no other business, meeting adjourned. Thank you, members.